It's funny how things change. A little over 2 years ago, Edgar Berlanga was on top of the world. He had just went the distance for the first time in what seemed to be possibly more an anomaly than a warning sign. But as they say, hindsight is 2020, because his next fight, not only did he go the distance against Marcelo Sorceress, but he also was in a tough fight where he got dropped. Then after that, he took on journeyman Steve Rose, and a fight that he was dominated early seemed to perhaps gas out in a fight that turned into a boxing match, and in a fight that I thought he lost. Steve Rose gave him everything he could handle and then some, basically fighting him and busting him up and outboxing him strictly by using a jab. He had issues cornering Rose. He did not know how to counter the jab or go over top of the jab. Gave him all kinds of problems. Now, with that being said, since then he fought one other time against Romer Alexis Angola in a fight that he did win unanimously, basically a landslide victory. But with that being said, he was also suspended for biting the man. He also fell out with his promoter, Top Rank, Bob Arum, over the direction they wanted to go with his career. Bob Arum and company have been on the record saying they do not feel like he's ready for the top echelon of the 168-pound division, where Berlanga seems to think otherwise. Matter of fact, not only does he think otherwise, they're looking for a Canelo Alvarez fight. They're looking for a David Benavidez fight and anybody else that they could get a hold of on that top shelf of the 168-pound division. Me personally, I think that's a mistake. I agree with Bob Arum. He needs to be fighting somebody, I'll say probably more on the outside of their top 10. And I'm not saying Bob Arum should be babying him or have him under some type of protective agency, as people like to say today. But you can't rush a fighter into something they're just not ready for, especially if the ranking system isn't calling for it. Nobody's calling for a Canelo Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga fight. What I do believe is happening is they recognize that his value is dropping, and a huge Mexican or Mexico versus Puerto Rico fight would be, how can I say it, a big money maker, whether it's with Canelo or David Benavidez. But of course, Canelo being the biggest star in boxing, that would be the person you really would be trying to get in the ring with, especially if you're going to do this Puerto Rico versus Mexico thing. But the problem with that is Berlanga isn't ready in no form or fashion. I mean, come on, let's put it in proper perspective. Cuban boxing sensation David Morrell is only 7-0, and it seems like he's light years ahead of Edgar Berlanga at this point in time in his career, already collecting the WBA regular super middleweight title. In fact, that should be Edgar Berlanga's target if you're going to look at somebody to fight, because number one, he's closer to your age range, he has less experience, so you might actually be able to get him off of experience, but off of talent, I say he knocks Berlanga out. Berlanga really, in my opinion, doesn't even belong in the top 10, in my opinion. I don't really see anybody, including someone like a John Ryder, that I can guarantee he could win against. Outside of his punching power, he hasn't shown any ability to deal with an average boxer. Or I should say maybe a slightly above average boxer. Especially if they have a decent chin. I really believe they need to find either him a better trainer, and number 2, work on his boxing, cutting off the ring, using his jab, better footwork. It's so many things. Moving his head it's so many things that I could say that he's lacking. He's not ready for anybody on that top tier. I can tell you that right now. And dare I say anybody in the top 10, and maybe even in the top 15. And if you put him in there with David Morrell, he'll get treated probably like a club fighter. Just saying. But that's pretty much all I got. This Head Busting Boxing's own Fight Doctor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Should Edgar Berlanga be in there with anybody in that top 10? Matter of fact, scratch that. Anybody that you consider top tier. Could you see him beating a Caleb Plant, a Canelo Alvarez, a David Benavidez, a David Morrell? Could you even see him beating a John Ryder? At this point, I don't think so. But that's my opinion. You give me yours. This Head Busting Boxing's own Fight Doctor. I am out.